Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this fantastic Gottlieb Target Alpha pinball machine. What a cool game. This particular one's in pretty nice shape. It's got a nice back glass. It's got a pretty nice cabinet. We've been working through the electronics, so if you didn't see the videos where we did that, go back and check them out. They were the two videos immediately preceding this one on our channel. There is also a playlist on our channel about this Target Alpha. Go check that out. But it's a really cool game. This was one of their, you could say one of their better titles, but they had so many great games from Gottlieb that you're not really saying much when you say that. They had a ton of great games, and this is one of them. So the thing's in pretty good shape, but there's just a couple little flaws with it. We're going to mess with this a little bit to see if we can make that look a little better. It's a shame to have such a beautiful game with a big wear spot right there, right in the center of the game. I don't even know how that could have happened. That's a strange one. There's a little wear around the pops, but I think we're just going to clean that up and not repaint it. But I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of work there just to make it look a little better. But this thing is filthy, and we're going to clean it up, shop it out, put all new rubber rings on it. Okay. Now there's some cracks in the plastic up here. But the customer, to be honest with you, is just going to sell the thing. He told me that. So he doesn't want to spend a ton of money on all this kind of stuff. So there's a piece of the plastic missing, and it's also cracked over here. This is common when you got drop targets. What happens is the drops fall, and then the ball can go under the plastic if it hits that rubber ring. So anytime you have a ball that can go underneath the plastic, it's going to chip. You don't usually have that on stuff like, well, if I can find a good example. Well, it can do it there too, but it's just a thing, right? So that's an issue. And then the other major issue that we're concerned about is these top flippers, these little, I call them 2-inch stunners. The bushings have worn out, or something's going on. And so they're too low to the playfield, so you can see where they've drug on the playfield. Look at that. It's a shame. We're going to wax it. That'll hide a little bit of that. But these bushings are worn out, so we got to replace those to get those flippers up off of the playfield. We haven't played the game much yet because of that, because every time you hit the flipper, you're going to be scraping the playfield. Who knows how long it's been like that. So I'm going to have Joe take this all apart, clean it all up. He's going to wax it all, but he's not going to do anything here in the middle so that I can touch up that paint just a little bit. That'll be a quick little touch up, hopefully. And then we'll go from there. Once we get that done, we'll continue with the repair. And what a cool game. Beautiful. Hey, Joe! Joe! He's asleep again. Alright folks, here's how it looks after cleaning. So this is what we need to mess with. And, you know, this is pretty noticeable, so we're probably going to put the yellow on there too. Maybe a little bit up there. We'll see. Because it's the same color, you know. So we need to mix that yellow and then a little bit of red, and the black we can do with just a black acrylic paint pen. So we'll try to mix that up. I use little acrylic paint that we get at Michael's and the hobby store and stuff like that, and then I clear coat over it. When you're doing yellow, though, it's such a thin, light color that you kind of have to put a primer under it. We've learned over the years. So we'll paint it like a white, and then we'll put the yellow over it. But let me see what kind of yellow I've got just right out of the bottle that's close or that matches. Okay, so I just painted on a little bit of like a cream colored white buttermilk to cover up some of that bare wood, and I did a little bit around that pop bumper. We're going to make it happen, people. And I think the color that we're going to use is golden yellow. So this acrylic paint, it always dries just a little bit darker than it looks wet. So I think it's going to be alright. It'll be close enough at least. We're just trying to make it look a little better. Yellow's the hardest color to match. The second hardest color to match is red. Stuff like this, pink and purple, you could match it easy. You could be way off and your eye can't even tell. But yellow, if it's off a little bit, you can tell. So it's not going to look perfect, but it's going to look better than that big wear spot did. So yeah, just easy as that. So we'll let the primer dry a little bit, or is that primer? I guess you could call that primer. And then we'll try a little bit of this on. that's how it turned out. We're going to spray a little clear coat on it. These are the pins that we use. Uni. Pasca. These are made by Mitsubishi Pencil Company in France. But I believe, yeah, the company is in France, but they're actually made in Japan. If you don't know, I'm on this big kick lately where I don't like the stuff from that country with the... Yeah, I don't even want to say their name anymore. I'm trying to buy better quality stuff, right? So I've got these linked on my website. The reason that you want to use this, whenever you're doing what we're doing here, you want to get all of the wax off of the machine. Okay? And then you want to use acrylic. The reason you want to use acrylic is because you can clean it up and because it won't react badly to clear coat. Sometimes if you use something that's oil-based and then you put a clear coat, which is basically oil-based or has, you know, chemicals in it, we'll just say. Everything has chemicals in it, but you know what I mean. They interfere with each other. Acrylic doesn't do that. Use acrylic, and whenever you're doing the black, they actually make black pins, so it's really easy to do black. So that's how we're going to leave it. I'm gonna spray some clear on it. We just use like Krylon or Rust-Oleum satin clear coat, and then wax the crap out of it, and it blends in and looks nice. Since it's acrylic, it's water-based, which means if it gets wet at all, it'll come off. So you have to put clear coat over it. If you don't put clear over it, it'll just come right back off and make a big mess. But if you're going to clear over something, it has to be clean. If it's got oil or wax or anything, the clear won't stick to it right, and you'll get little puddles, and it just looks like crap. Orange peel. So I'm just going to spray clear in this one area. Did you forget where we painted? It's like right here. So I'm going to spray clear in that one area. Now you'll notice I didn't make it perfect. Like I didn't even do that one, right? You want to leave a little bit of wear just so it looks right. If you try to make it perfect, it's going to look fake as hell. Don't be fake. Come on, people, don't be fake. Come on now, just do a little bit. That's all it needed. That big spot was ugly. I mean, I'll admit that. So we had to get rid of it. And then I put a little around that pop bumper and a little around that pop bumper. But so I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of clear, let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll wax the crap out of it and put it all back together. Oh, by the way, if you want these, I forgot the whole reason I was telling you about. If you want these, we have them linked on our website. These are just on Amazon. We just like this brand because it's a French company and they're made in Japan, you know, and they work well. They're very inexpensive. There's a link to them on Amazon on our website. Go to lionsarcade.com, and there is a parts page link up at the top of our page. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on there that we use for repairs and just little stuff like this. So there's links to all the stuff that we use. That link will take you to Amazon if you buy these, or let's say you go on Amazon and you buy a new sports car. After clicking our link, it gives us a percentage of whatever you buy. So that's one way you can support our channel if you'd like to. But I'm going to put a little clear on it, and then we'll wax it and put it all back together. folks, this is what we ended up with. It waxed up really nice. I think the touch-ups look pretty good, all things considered. Around the pop bumper looks pretty good. Not bad. Looks nice and clean, Joe. All right, now we got a present in the mail. One day too late. So yesterday I did the black lines on it. Let's see if I can show you. This is our address. Look who it's addressed to. Ron at Lions Arcade. That's me. I found it. So whenever you get one of these, what this usually means is that somebody has mailed you a present from Amazon. So it appears that's what it is. So what these are the same types of pins, and it must be someone who watches all the time, because what they did was they sent different sizes. So the one I was using before is a 0.4, I believe, and this is like all different ones. 0.1, oh no, 0.7, 0.6, 0.2, 1.2, 0.3, and so whenever I saw them, I thought, that's pretty cool. Wonder where they're made. And where do you think they're made? These are Statler, we'll call it. And they are made in Germany. Joe, they're right up my alley. Okay, so I'm going to use these technical drafting sets. That's interesting. I never thought about that. I'm going to use these on something, and we'll see if they're all right. But I don't know if they're acrylic. I'm going to have to figure out if they're acrylic. Let's see here. Indelible, waterproof on paper. If they're waterproof, they're not acrylic. I don't know, Joe. See, the problem is if you put something like that's why I don't use a Sharpie, for instance. We did a Kiss pinball one time, and on the side there's these beautiful 4 demons heads from the 4 Kiss guys. And Joey took about a day and a half to ink all the black paint back in, and he used a paint pen. It wasn't a Sharpie though. I don't remember what you were using.
It was a paint, some kind of
paint pen. And it wasn't acrylic. So whenever we cleared it, all of the black paint just rolled off and left smears all down the side of the cabinet. Had to repaint the whole thing and do it all by hand again. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that those will work, because if they're waterproof, they're not acrylic. Acrylic is water-based, so whenever you put water on acrylic, it will come back off. The problem is whatever is in the clear interacts with it and makes it do that. If it's acrylic, it doesn't. Everything's cool. So we'll have to do a test run on it. But the reason he's sending me those is because they're different sizes. That one I've got is one, it's fine, but as you saw whenever I was doing it, it wasn't quite thin enough to get the lines perfect. You're a little too thick. So. But here's what we've got. So our next thing that we're going to do is we need to replace the bushings under those flippers, or do something to get those raised up off the playfield so that they don't continue to drag like they are. Alright, so I checked the bushings. They're fine. I've got new ones here, and they're very inexpensive, but it wouldn't have fixed the problem. So what we did was we took the shoe off and put washers under it to raise it up a little bit. We've been doing this on other games too. I don't understand what's happening. It could be that the playfields are swelling a little bit or something. I don't know. But it's to the point where the bushings aren't quite tall enough to raise the thing up off of the playfield. So we are, like the way it is now, the way you're seeing it is after it's fixed. So it doesn't have to be much up, but it was dragging before and now it's not. Same with this one. So we've got it up in the air where it doesn't actually touch the playfield. That's how it's supposed to be. So we spaced it out a little bit, and they seem to be fine. So we don't have to worry about that damaging the playfield anymore. It could be, too, that that's just that the wear there happened before, and then they replaced the bushings. But they still were a little low to our taste, so we raised them up a little bit. The two main ones are fine. Okay, so cosmetically, it's pretty good. I think we need to do a little bit under the playfield now, though. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is swap all the light bulbs, because we've got a couple here that don't appear to work, and clean switches, etc., etc. So we'll see if we run into anything on that. All right, so we got all the light bulbs done. I'm working through a little bit of the stuff on the bottom, and I wanted to show you something. I run into stuff on these machines that just blows my mind. And so look at this. There is a wire that has been added. Now this wire is not connected to that one. If you pull on it, it just moves around. They just have the wire hanging there and taped around it. But that's the wire that used to be on there. And it's violet. It's yellow and violet, we'll call it. Some of you would say purple, but in pinball machines they always call it violet. And then the wire goes down here to the other drop targets. Same story. So they have disconnected one that is white and blue. That would be my guess of what the color is. Okay, so it used to go to the switches on the drop targets. So as the drop targets drop, they hit that switch and connect the two wires. Well, they've changed the wires. Okay, so they have connected these to those, and then they come around here to this 3 to 5 ball adjustment Jones plug. So it is set on 5 balls right now. And if you look, the yellow and the purple would have already been connected to the white and the blue on 5 ball. But they have soldered the wire over here on this side so that they're connected to this blue, white, and red wire. So why in the world would they do that? Well, they must have been modding it to make the drop targets worth more points. Sometimes on a 3-ball game, the pinball machines, when it's set to 3-ball, it'll be easier. When it's set to 5-ball, it's a little bit harder because you have more balls, so you've got longer to try to get more points. So I guess they did something like that. So let's look in the schematics and see if we can figure out what they did by tying all that stuff together. Okay, so here are the schematics. This is the area that we're looking at. These are all the switches. I've been staining wood, so I've got stain all over my hands. These are the area of the switches. So these are the switches on the top, the drop targets on the top. These are the switches on the side. So if you look, the ones at the top were a white and black line. Well, they've disconnected that. But if the way it originally was, whenever you hit those, basically it gives you 2,000 points. Okay, and then the side drop target switches, they say it's maroon and yellow, so I guess it's not violet or purple. Maroon and yellow. If you're on 5-ball, that connects to the white and black ones. It connects the two together, just like we thought. Which means that all of them give you 2,000 points. Okay? Or, if you're on 3-ball, that moves this one up here, which means that you can connect it where the side drop targets give you 2,000 points, like the top ones will, or you can move it up to here to make the side ones give you 500 points. But the only way you can do that is if it's on 3-ball. And it says it in the manual. Look, it says right here, side drop target score adjustment, 3-ball only. So what they did was they tied this wire to this wire, and then they connected both of them to this wire. And the reason that they did that was so that they could make none of the drop targets score 2,000 points. So they've got them all set up for 500 points. Can you believe that? Come on, people. Why would you do... That's not how the game's designed, people. Come on. I mean, I know it's an easier game. Come on now. You gonna make it where they're worth come on, they're worth like a fourth? That ain't right. You're not supposed to do that. Come on now. So I guess I'm gonna have to put them back. I hate tinkering with somebody's game, but the way it was explained to me, they haven't really played this game, so they probably don't want it like that. Some operator probably did it just to screw somebody. You know how they are. Those evil operators, of which I may have been one myself back in the... Well, I won't mention that, but some of them operators, they shouldn't have done that. Okay, so I'm going to put it back, and I've about got everything cleaned under here, and then we'll see how pretty it is. You know, this video is supposed to be about the Playfield. Unhacked. So there you go, people. Put them back to normal, people. I'm not a fan of the mods. You know, even the LEDs. I don't like them fake light bulbs. Don't even do that. It's a gateway drug. Don't tinker with this stuff. Put it back how it's supposed to be. Come on now, people. Do it right. Okay, so we took that off. Yeah, we're going to see how she looks now. All right, folks. So that's how it all turned out. We got all of the lights working and everything. Got the playfield all cleaned up. We can't play it yet because it's still not working properly. But it's getting there. So we need to work on some stuff in the back box. Clean some things, clean some relays, and then troubleshoot from there. But we've about got it. Such a cool game. Hope you've enjoyed the videos so far. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. Check out my brother Donnie. He has his own channel here on YouTube down below. There's a link to his channel. I'm over there with him a lot of times. We work on pinball machines, arcade games, and jukeboxes. My brother Donnie works on old vehicles, old buildings, things like that. And he has a farm with goats and cows. All the goats just had babies, he was telling me earlier. So check that out. And we will see you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it so far. This is a fun game to work on. It's trying to cooperate.